ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust, episode 695 of the series. As we say hello, Wolfie, and yes, hello, and exit the last episode's hidey hole, secure the last episode's hidey hole in a kind of strange fashion that we did that. Gonna figure out our inventory a little bit and continue west without a boat. Dang, why didn't I make any boats? West to those far lands in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Ooh, look at these sugar canes. They sure did grow up nice and tall, didn't they? Well done. The parents would be proud. Yeah. Farlands or Bust, episode 695 for your Friday, June 29th, 2018. How are we doing? We're alright. Well, we can chop down a tree, I guess. If you'd like to continue supporting the series, please go to farlandsorbust.com and consider donating to our Direct Relief charity, where we're trying to raise, dang it, we're trying to raise $50,000 this season for Direct Relief charity. Currently at $16,421.01. Thank you everybody who has contributed thus far and who has contributed over $400,000 for charities over the 7-year history of Farlands or Bust. Much appreciated. Of course, those who do ask questions. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't add up. Those who do donate are also able to ask questions with their donations that I add to the list to answer in future episodes of Farlands Bust. We got some of those today. Some of those came in because we're live streaming. We're live streaming the experience today. We had just finished beating Tomb Raider. The original Tomb Raider from 1996. It's a very enjoyable game. I'm going to try to download and then chop up and upload that experience to the YouTubes. It's been a while since I've played that. I played it a good handful of times when it first came out, or when I first got it back in the late 90s. But it's been a very long time since I played it. A lot of nostalgia. It's a very quiet game. A very slow and quiet game. And I started to ponder the reasonings and influences on my current video game interests. Those that are slow, quiet, kind of all about solitude, walking simulators as they're sometimes called. And what could have been inferred from that back in the original Tomb Raider. I don't know. It's an enjoyable experience. Certainly very simple, and we really started to notice the shortcuts and just simple methods by which the developers worked. Back in the 90s, they didn't even, like, if they came up against a problem in their programming, they couldn't look it up on Google. Google didn't exist. Or maybe it did, but certainly not in the way it does. So yeah, very, very just long duration game, being as how I tend to take a long time to play games anyway. But yeah, and cheesy and campy. the dialogue, amazing. I still got a pain in my brain from you, and it's giving me funny ideas now, like to shoot you to hell. Couldn't even finish. That's funny. That's just good times. There was also a good line at the end. In the kind of flashback cutscene between Natla and all the other trio of the city of Atlantis or whatever. He had a big booming voice. Now, Natla, you've wronged us for the last time. Whatever it was. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Stuff that we've lost in the recent Tomb Raiders. To much snark. But yeah, that was an enjoyable time. I'm glad I've done that, and we'll certainly mix it up. I'm not going to turn it into an all Tomb Raider all the time live stream channel, but we'll eventually try Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider 3. Hey, look, you know, we just kind of were thinking about Combat Canyon, and this place looks like a Combat Canyon starting area. Like that's where the protruding house was, and that's where the spawn area was. Something like that, right? Let's go check it out. Indeed. Indeed. What else was I gonna talk about? I didn't expect to talk about Tomb Raider, but I did. I suppose there's quite a few. Ooh, my voice. I suppose there's quite a few of you who maybe just watch these or listen to these episodes or podcasts and maybe don't keep up with the streams. So perhaps you missed out on the Tomb Raider etude. Yeah, this will be a good place for a dangle house. If I've ever seen a dangle. Excuse me. Just my own. Dangle house, that is. Obviously, I'm talking about from the patron server, right? Let's continue on. Dang it, there was like another topic I was gonna like pad the time with, but I forgot what it was. So let's just jump into the questions, I guess, huh? Timo Warner donated to Direct Relief and asked, how many digits of pi can you recite? You should have asked this question when we pressed F3 at the pi number and found the Pidy hole. That's still the best named thing in this series so far. Do you have any interesting thoughts on pi? Any thoughts on pi in general? Are there different? Do people think about pi a lot? How many digits of pi can you recite? Like 4? 3.141. So 4? 4. Let's say 4. Interesting thoughts on pi. I've got to tell you, the last 45 seconds are about the most time I've given to pi in my entire life. I guarantee that is the case. It's a number, and it deals with circles and geometry sometimes. And it never ends. I mean, that's kind of neat, right? It never ends because a circle doesn't have straight lines and you could infinitesimally divide it into smaller segments, right? Which is why pi is what it is. I mean, I was always very interested. I mean, like, there's the mathematical concepts of repeating numbers. You know, like 1.99999, and then you like put a little accent thing over the top of the 9, and it means it just goes on forever. Mathematically speaking, 1.9 repeating is literally the same number as 2. Because you can't say it's smaller than 2 because the decimals go on infinitely. Right? It's infinite. There's no space in between 1.9 repeating and 2. Because that space is infinitely small. So it's 2. But then again, there are many a math equation and formulas that rely on repeating remainders and decimals. If you were to just say 2, they would completely fall apart. So it's pretty crazy. And there's a lot of similarities in that with quantum physics and astronomy. Quantum astrophysics is the word I was trying to meld together there. Ooh, look at this little yin-yang dude. Well done. Keep it up. Look at this little block of ice. Keep it up, you too. Bunch of go-getters out here today, these blocks, I say. Yeah, 1/3, 0.33333 repeating. But you multiply 1/3 by 3 and you get 1, even though somewhere in there's a remainder of infinite 0.000000000, and then like the 1 is somewhere, but it's infinitely far away. So yeah, I mean, that I wish our math teachers And by our math teachers, I mean my math teachers perhaps addressed math class and math in a way that was, I guess, mentally stimulating about those sort of things. But instead, it's more about vague things, equations, properties, this, that, and the other, and no actual practical or even sort of cosmic implications. But that was just my experience, I guess. Also, I was terrible at math. So let's go to sleep and continue in the morning. And a mathness. Right, Wolfie? Indeed. So yeah, I guess I thought that topic was just gonna die on the ground there, but I guess we had a little bit more to talk about in terms of pie. Uncle Hermit is back with a donation to Direct Relief and another question. Seen any good movies lately? Looking forward to any? Judging by the trailer, I bet Wolfie would like Alpha. I don't... What is Alpha? Is Alpha the Wes Anderson movie? That's like stop motion with the dogs? Or is that's Island of Dogs, or the Land of Dogs, or something, isn't it? I don't know what Alpha is, I'm afraid. But I haven't been to the movies in a while. I don't know anybody to go with the movies with, to go to the movies with. The last time I was at the movies, I took myself. I saw Solo. I was entertained, shocked and amazed. Well, maybe not that, but very interested in that. It was good. It was all mostly fan service, but there was interesting stuff going on there. I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable experience. I've certainly seen a lot worse movies. Speaking of Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider movies. But I haven't seen the most recent one. Everybody asks me if I've seen the most recent one, and I don't have high hopes for that one. Maybe if it ever becomes free on Amazon Prime. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, be sure to stop by my Twitch channel and subscribe for free with Twitch Prime. Bling! Sponsored by myself. So yeah, that's the last movie I saw. Before that, it was Star Wars. And that was over Christmas. I saw that with my sister in the theater. And I think in between there, I watched like Logan, the Wolverine movie on Netflix or Amazon or something. Thor, the latest Thor movie I saw on Amazon at home or whatever. That was fun. I enjoyed that. That was just an enjoyable experience all around. I haven't seen the new Avengers. I've mentioned this before. I'm very sick of superhero movies. They're all the same, which is why I think... Oh, jeez! Which is why I think that last Thor movie was interesting, because it was not the normal formula. Kind of the normal formula, but it eschewed some of the boring, repetitive elements. Well, look at this! Look at this monument that I just destroyed of some other traveler, perhaps traveling in the other direction, or this direction. Well, this is just a pre-made monument right here. Neat, Wolfie. Neat. Yeah, it's like completely symmetrical and everything. Who's done this? Who did this? What sort of spooky situation is happening here? This is... Could it be aliens? Is that even possible? Yes. That's pretty great. Boop. We're just gonna make it a monument to itself. It's a self-fulfilling monument. This'll confuse people on the thumbnail. Got him! Oops, sorry. Got him. What did he do? What happened? Did he die? Why did he make a monument? Why does it look like a grave? Clickbait. What was I saying? Oh, movies. Yeah, I think that about wraps up that. That always wraps up that topic, I think. I don't know. I would like to see the Avengers movie, I guess. Since I've seen all the other ones. Might as well, right? It's like 2.5 hours long. But yeah, I don't know if I'm excited for any. I've just not kept up with the realm of film. Entertainment. I've not, same thing with TV shows. I've kind of just stopped consuming pre-scripted media, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Cone Dodger donated and asked a question, a relevant question. Oh, this is what I was going to talk about. Thanks, Cone Dodger. Are you any good at making rice? I make terrible rice. You're saying cook rice? I'm assuming you're not out there tending to your own rice paddies, making rice from scratch. It's difficult. It's more difficult than it seems. The reason this is relevant is because I've made a few batches of just plain rice, white rice, for Juno, because she's had a stomach situation going on this past weekend. So she's on a diet of white rice, and I've recently introduced some plain boiled chicken just to make sure things stabilize. And we've got a vet appointment tomorrow. Today I had to drop off some samples. Dog owners, you know what samples I'm talking about. But yeah, just to be sure. Things seem to have stabilized, but I'm also now like freaked out if like anything I fed her is what did it, because I'm trying out these like new treats that I saw, but also at the same time I kind of tried out these kind of food mix-ins with her food. Too many sticks. Too many sticks. So yeah, that's why I've made rice. But yeah, white rice is difficult. I like making the what's the one? Whee! There's boxed rice that is flavored. I got the jambalaya. Got the yellow rice. Garlic rice. It's gluten-free. Something New Orleans. Something about New Orleans. Zatarain's! Yes, that's the one. Those are the ones I always get. They're pretty good. Sometimes the flavor can be a bit overpowering, but those are fairly easy. They take a while though, like 25 minutes. But yeah, white rice is difficult. It seems to me. It like depends on the ambient temperature of the room sometimes. I always add like a tablespoon of butter at the beginning, and then as it's bubbling, as it starts to foam over, as often is the case, I add a dash of salt to keep the foam down. And I really just do it for 15 minutes. That's right, 15 minutes. And yeah, it's a rough one. That's a tough one. I guess that's why there's special rice cookers. But I'm not a fan of unitaskers in the kitchen. We need to have multitaskers, he says, with a coffee grinder and like 3 different coffee makers. So yeah. Speaking of white rice and coffee grinders, it's a good way to clean out your coffee grinder. Just put some white rice on there, dial it down to the finest setting, and let her rip. It absorbs the coffee oils and sharpens the blades all in one. Life hack. So there you go, Cone. I hope that helps. If it didn't, too bad. Enjoy some overcooked burnt rice. You know, it's kind of a pain. I never do it, but one of the tricks I've always heard from like famous chefs is to toast your rice. That's right, toast it. Put like a tablespoon of olive oil in the bottom of the pan. No water yet. You heat up the olive oil, put in the your rice, and stir the olive oil up so it coats all the rice, and let it sizzle. Let it sizzle for a bit. Don't burn it. It's just to the point where some of them sort of start to turn a little bit less white. Not brown. Brown means you burned them, but just a little bit white, a little bit darker than white rice. And then you add your water and cook as you would. And supposedly that brings out the flavors. Supposedly that does something. I tried it a few times. I honestly didn't notice a huge difference. Maybe I did it wrong, but that's the... Perhaps it leads to a more satisfyingly firm rice kernel. Kernel? Are they kernels? What is a rice? Beans? Than say your fluffy, puffy, sticky rice. A grains. Thank you. Kernels. It's popcorn. So yeah, let's make an elevated hidey hole here if I can find a open piece of land to do so in, which I'm concurrently finding difficulty doing. There we go. Boop, pop. Nope. This is a super strong elevated hidey hole. Got some extra supports. And awakeness. And the riceness. I'm kind of thinking in the back of my head, is Cone... Like, this is really diving into the depths of cheap ways to eat. For most people, it's just ramen noodles. Cone's just buying bags of rice. He's just buying bags of rice. Just shoveling it down by the spoonful. Anonymous had a question with their donation. If the golden record is an evil object of doom and chaos, what would a green record be? Boring? A green record? Are you saying because green is the opposite of gold? Is it on the color wheel? No, it's not. Purple is. Get your complementary colors right. I don't know what a green record is. We kind of just leave them. Have we found any? I don't think there are green records in this game. I think there's only golden records. The only records there are gold, and you can't even play them. They're just in the game. Maybe you can play them. Have we never crafted a record player? I don't think they're in the game. Wolfie, I don't think they're in the game. I was thinking a cake was the last thing we never crafted. But I don't think a record player is in this version of the game. We would need a diamond to find out. Or we could just look it up on the wiki. Because we've done a piston. We did the cake. It might have been something that we did at, like, the beginning when we were actually playing Minecraft. But yeah, there certainly aren't the wide range of records that there are in the current versions of the game. There's no broken record, there's no bunch of different songs. Well, go back to the tapes, everybody. Let me know. Have I created a record player in this game? Because that is a good Season 7 monument to think of right there. So yeah, the evil golden record is a good thing. Good found them to be evil in his series, and every time we've encountered one, we've found confirming evidence to that conclusion. Lethos, thank you very much for your question and donation. What are your thoughts on the future of video gaming in general? And do you think VR the next evolution in gaming? Oh, do you think VR is the next evolution in gaming? You accidentally a word there. I don't think so. I think we're already starting to notice that VR is not the next evolution in gaming. I don't even like right now. It's the price point is kind of the most prohibitive thing for VR to propagate throughout the gaming sphere. I even think if it like the Oculus and all these other ones are coming out with like standalone cheapish versions, but then those versions aren't going to play the top games. You know, they're not going to have the Steam games library to play. Even if like the top tier ones come down in price, I think it's too isolating, says the guy in his office at home by himself, locking his dog out of the room so she doesn't bother him, playing video games with 4 monitors around his face. Irony. Yeah, I think it's just like, it's too isolating, and the real problem is interfacing. Not being able to see your controller or your controls. And for as long as video games have been around, being able to push buttons and move sticks have been an essential part of that. So I don't think using motion control... Oh, motion controls are... we got Skeletnas. You know, I don't know... Ugh. I don't think that there's any easy way to solve that. It does remind me more of a novelty than a... Dangerous. Yoink! I don't think that was a spawner, that was just some random skeletons in the dark. Also, my garage band in high school. So yeah, I think it has many more years of development. And even then, it's a unitasker. We were just talking about unitaskers in the kitchen. You can't, like, on my computer now, switch and start doing my taxes, whee! Or, you know, balancing checkbooks or sending emails or doing stuff like that. True, the consoles themselves in history haven't been unitaskers. Or they have been, excuse me, like PlayStation 1, you know, NES or stuff like that. But the platform they work on, your television, isn't a unitasker. And now the consoles, your PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones, those have your Netflix and your television and, you know, movies and stuff like that. So I think the problem of it not, you know, the only thing VR is good for is for VR. It's difficult to kind of find a market to proliferate that in. Sure, enthusiasts, people who are specifically interested in VR, are going to buy and enjoy it. But it isn't going to, I think, find, you know, a common market with the wider gaming. You know, right now the biggest gaming platform is mobile gaming. I don't think there's any way it's going to overtake that, right? It's also very convoluted. Like, there's options are good, don't get me wrong, but there's too many platforms, I think. It's the old HD DVD versus Blu-ray situation kind of. I'm not saying there has to be a winning platform, but there has to be an agreed upon standard maybe, where if you have a HTC versus a Oculus versus a whatever, you can still load in the same software, you can still use the same control schemes, etc., etc. But the way the business is, I don't know that that's going to happen anytime soon. Those are my uneducated and unresearched thoughts on VR. Join us next week when Kurt tackles another delicate and current topic that he knows nothing about and has generally no interest in. Oh boy. The Grimless Reaper. I'm blowing through all these questions that we got today, by the way, so we're gonna need new ones before the next episode. FarlandsBus.com. Donate to Direct Relief. Bing. The Grimless Reaper. What were some of your favorite activities when you lived in the Chicago area? Your favorite pizza place? Well, obviously, I've talked about Lou Malnati's before. Right, Spawner? Right. Lou Malnati's. Definitely favorite pizza place. It wasn't like a thing I ate all the time. An indulgence, if you will. Like there's normal pizza. Is Nancy's Pizza a Chicago thing? Nancy's was kind of our go-to. Ooh, a skeleton spawner. Ugh, murder. Murdered. Nancy's Pizza was good. Of course, this is all pre-gluten-free Kurt J. Mac, by the way. I think that's kind of a Chicago thing. Right? Gotta be careful here. I might collapse this on myself. What in the world? We have been blessed. We have been blessed thrice on this day. Wow. And happening live before a live studio audience. Look at that. Look at that. What? I thought, I was like, if anything, it's going to be a golden record. Woo! Well, what's even in this one? Oh, well, that's boring. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we got to build the hold on. What I got to do is collapse the sand because we're going to... Oh, or I can just do that. Neat. Look at that. Episode 695. Golden apple number thrice. Golden apple number thrice. Wolfie, are you going to join us downstairs for a celebratory? Oh, you certainly are, I guess, huh? All right, this is getting bad. This is getting bad. Wow, I'm not even prepared for this. Ah! I don't know how to do the thing that I do now. No, Wolfie, stop. Just cease and desist. Do I even have enough blocks to do this? I do. I most certainly do. Yeah, dang it, golden apples, you're supposed to be rare and hard to find. You're starting to become boring. I'm finding so many of you. Oh, boy. Oh, man. That's just wackiness right there. What are the chances? That makes no sense. You're sitting on the chest that contained the golden apple of episode 695-ness. Everybody watching here live on Twitch has been absolutely given a treat. A once-in-a-lifetime treat. You know what? Let's just break this thing to get it out of the way. Never again will you ever experience such grandeur and amazingness ever again in your lives. Just remember that, my friends. Oh, okay. I need some torches. 3 golden apples. Now the next bets you guys are gonna have to place is Kurt's inventory just gonna be full of golden apples by the time he reaches the far lands? Stay tuned. We gotta make a bed. We gotta make multiple beds. Excuse me. Okay. We gotta make multiple beds here. Pop, 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 pop. Let's make another boat. We're big spenders here today. Okay, there's the golden clock. Magical Destiny. We got to get rid of this netherrack. I think maybe at the next monument, we get rid of the netherrack. And maybe a record player if we've not ever made those before, which I honestly have no idea if I have. Oh boy. I mean, this one was after 311, and this one was like 630 something. This one, that my friends, is how statistics works, Juno. Wolfie. Statistics, not statistics. What's the word I'm looking for? Chance? Probability. That's how probability works. It could be a 0.08% chance to see a golden apple in a chest, but you can get them all in a row if you wanted to, and it'd still be 0.08% chance. Oh, man. Math. Pi. Infinite decimal points and whatnot. That's fine. Indeed. What an end to an episode here. Episode 695 of the series. You couldn't have waited for episode 700? Really? You had to do this now? Thanks. Yeah, wow. Yeah, words are things, but not right now, they're not. So thanks so much for watching. FarlandsOrBust.com. Keep donating to Direct Relief. Keep asking these questions. The Grimless Reaper, I will keep your question on the board here to answer your Chicago question in the next episode. Blame the golden apple. Blame the third golden apple. And yeah, I will see you next time. You think I got enough torches? You think I got enough torches, Wolfie? Sponsored by myself.